Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we really try to unpack complex topics for you.
Get those essential insights.
Exactly. And today, we're plunging into something that, well, it affects almost everything about your well-being, often without you even noticing. We're talking about glucose.
Yeah, it's this tiny molecule, our body's main fuel source, right?
Yep.
But when it's mismanaged, oh boy, it can throw everything out of whack.
Profoundly.
And we're drawing a lot today from Glucose Revolution by Jessie Inchauspé. It's a fantastic book, really makes cutting-edge science feel, down to earth.
Super accessible. So our mission today, let's demystify glucose. Let's understand its, frankly, surprising impact on energy, mood, everything.
Everything.
And we want to arm you with some practical, really simple hacks, that's what the book calls them, to keep your body in that sweet spot.
Prepare for some aha moments. Seriously.
Oh, I think so. Because what you're about to learn, it really could shift how you feel, like, every single day.
Okay, so let's pull back the curtain a bit. What does the food we eat actually do inside us? For a lot of us, our bodies are kind of a black box, aren't they?
Totally. You eat something, and you don't really connect the dots, do you?
Not really. You don't think, okay, is this meal going to make me hungry again in 2 hours?
Or is this causing that breakout tomorrow?
Why?
Or just making me feel sluggish, brain fog.
Right. We're just kind of guessing, hoping for the best outcome.
And it doesn't help that, there are these huge marketing campaigns constantly shaping our choices.
Billions of dollars, pushing processed foods, often with these misleading justifications.
Like calories in, calories out is all that matters for weight loss.
Or all fats are bad, which we know isn't true. Or even type 2 diabetes is just genetic, nothing you can do.
Yeah, those ideas are really stuck in there for a lot of people. But the science, especially lately, like in the last 5 years or so, it's really turning that on its head.
Completely. It's showing that how we eat, the order, the combinations, how we group things, it matters just as much as what we're eating, maybe even more.
That's fascinating.
And here's the kicker. Scientists have basically zeroed in on one key metric, one thing that influences pretty much all our body systems.
And that's glucose, blood sugar.
That's the one. And if you can optimize how your body handles glucose, it can dramatically improve your physical health, your mental clarity, just about everything.
Okay, so let's define terms. When we say glucose spike, what are we actually talking about?
The book defines it quite precisely. It's when your blood glucose concentration jumps up fast, more than 30 milligrams per deciliter, mgdl, in about an hour.
And then crashes back down just as quickly.
Exactly, that up and down roller coaster.
And here's a number that, honestly, it kind of floored me. The book suggests maybe 88% of Americans might have dysregulated glucose levels.
88%. It's staggering. And we're not just talking about people with diagnosed diabetes here.
No, this is like most adults experiencing these spikes and crashes daily, probably without even knowing why they feel the way they do.
Right, they don't connect it to the glucose.
Okay, 88%, that's huge. So most of us are likely on this ride. Why is that bad?
Yeah.
Why are these spikes so harmful? What's going on inside?
Our source uses a few really good analogies. The first one is the train stops analogy.
Okay.
So think of your cells having tiny powerhouses, mitochondria. Their job is to convert glucose into energy, right?
The cell's engine.
Exactly. Now imagine a steam train stoker shoveling coal. If glucose rushes in too fast, a big spike, it's like dumping way too much coal on the fire all at once.
Overwhelms the system.
Completely swamps the mitochondria. They just can't keep up.
And so the train stalls.
Pretty much. And worse, this overwhelm creates these things called free radicals and oxidative stress. It's like internal rust forming.
Damaging cells, organs.
Over time, absolutely. And how you feel that. It's chronic fatigue, that feeling of lassitude, just no sustained energy, even right after you've eaten.
Huh. Okay, that makes sense. What's the next analogy?
The toasting analogy. Sounds a bit weird, I know.
Toasting.
Yeah. Basically, your body is constantly subtly browning itself. It's a chemical process called the Maillard reaction.
And glucose is involved.
Directly. Glucose molecules literally bump into other molecules in your body and damage them permanently. It's called glycation.
Like caramelizing them almost.
Sort of, yeah. And this is a natural part of aging. It happens slowly over time.
But the spikes accelerate it.
Massively. More spikes, more intense spikes means more glycation, faster aging. And once a molecule is glycated, that's it. It's damaged for good. You can't untoast bread, right?
Right. And this isn't just wrinkles.
Oh, no. It contributes to cataracts, heart disease, even Alzheimer's. And all this damage fuels chronic inflammation.
Which we hear so much about. It's like the root of so many modern illnesses.
So it really is. It's estimated to contribute to, what, 3 out of 5 deaths worldwide? So the idea that just flattening your glucose curves could reduce this inflammation, that's huge.
Mind-blowing, really. Okay, and the third analogy, fat storage.
Right, the Tetris game analogy. Think of insulin as the master organizer. Its job is to take excess glucose out of the blood and store it neatly in the liver, muscles, or as fat.
Like fitting the blocks in place.
Exactly, got to clear the board. But here's where fructose comes in, and it's different.
How so?
Fructose, unlike glucose, can't be stored as glycogen in your liver or muscles. It basically has one path, turn into fat, mostly in the liver.
Oof, so it hits the liver harder.
Much harder. The book calls it alcohol without the buzz for your liver. It just overwhelms it.
Okay. And how does insulin play into fat burning?
Well, if your insulin levels are always high, which happens with constant glucose spikes, your body physically cannot burn fat for fuel.
Really? It locks it away.
Insulin literally puts fat into storage and locks the door. It's a one-way street into fat cells when insulin is high. To burn fat, you need insulin levels to be low.
So chronically high insulin from spikes is a direct cause of obesity, type 2 diabetes.
PCOS too. But the good news is, flatten the glucose curves and you automatically flatten the insulin curves.
Which unlocks the fat stores.
Finally let your body use that stored energy.
Okay, that framework is super helpful. Let's talk about the immediate day-to-day effects. The short-term stuff, like constant hunger and craving.
Oh yeah, classic symptom. A meal causing a big spike leads to a big crash, which makes you hungry again really fast.
Why though?
High insulin blocks leptin, that's your fullness hormone, and it boosts ghrelin, the feed me now hormone.
Double whammy.
And get this, a Yale study showed that when your glucose is dropping after a spike, your brain's craving centers light up like a Christmas tree.
Driving you towards
High calorie, often sugary foods. It's a vicious cycle. We hear this all the time. Like Marie, who needed snacks every 90 minutes because of reactive hypoglycemia. Classic spike and crash.
And chronic fatigue makes sense with the overwhelmed mitochondria.
Exactly. Your energy production is compromised. So you eat, but you still feel tired. That sweet snack gives you a quick dopamine hit, maybe?
But it tanks your actual usable energy long term.
Precisely. Remember Gustavo, the truck driver. Relying on candy bars, then crashing hard. It's not sustainable energy.
Or sleep too.
Yep, glucose crashes at night can literally jolt you awake, heart pounding. And consistently high glucose is linked to insomnia, even sleep apnea.
And the brain fog, cognitive function.
Big spikes definitely impair memory and focus, especially if they happen first thing in the morning. I remember you mentioning, was it a donut?
Oh yeah, it was wild. I had this donut, felt fine initially, then bam, this weird feeling of depersonalization, like I wasn't quite real, it was jarring. Made me think, wow, how fast can food mess with your head?
It's incredibly fast and profound. Studies back this up. Diets full of spikes worsen mood, depression symptoms. They absolutely contribute to feeling hangry.
Irritable, yeah.
The book mentions Lucy with type 1 diabetes. Her extreme spikes could unfortunately trigger real anger issues. The link is undeniable.
And the immune system takes a hit too.
Temporarily, yes. Spikes can compromise immune function, making you more susceptible to bugs. It was even linked to worse COVID outcomes.
Wow. Plus, worse menopause symptoms, migraines, managing diabetes. It touches everything.
It really does. The short-term stuff adds up.
And long-term. We're talking chronic illnesses.
Right. Things like acne, eczema, psoriasis, often driven by that underlying inflammation we talked about.
Accelerated aging.
Yep, the glycation, the oxidative stress. It speeds up cellular aging throughout the body, not just skin deep.
Alzheimer's and dementia, that link seems really strong now.
Very strong. Repeated spikes, neuroinflammation, cognitive decline. It's a clear pathway.
Depressive episodes worsened.
Definitely. The ups and downs of glucose mirror and often intensify the ups and downs of mood for some people.
Gut problems, food allergies, autoimmune issues like Crohn's.
All connected back to inflammation and gut health, which are heavily influenced by glucose regulation.
Heart disease beyond just cholesterol.
Right. Absolutely. The book highlights things like LDL pattern B, inflammation. These are key drivers tied directly to glucose, fructose, insulin. Every single glucose spike increases heart attack risk.
So better things to track might be triglycerides to HDL ratio, C-reactive protein.
Those give you a much better picture of metabolic health and inflammation, yeah.
Infertility too. PCOS, male fertility issues.
Linked. Glucose dysregulation plays a big role in hormonal balance.
And the big ones. Insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. The caffeine resistance analogy is great.
Isn't it? Your cells just get tired of hearing insulin knock, so they stop responding. You need more and more insulin to get the same effect.
And just pumping in more insulin medication doesn't fix the root cause.
Often makes it worse long term. The key is reducing the need for insulin by flattening those glucose curves. That's how Fatima reversed her type 2 diabetes in 4 months. Amazing story. Her fasting glucose went from 200 down to 110.
Incredible. And finally, fatty liver disease,
Man.
NAFLD.
Super common now, unfortunately, mostly driven by that excess fructose we talked about. It hammers the liver, similar to alcohol, can even lead to liver failure. It's serious stuff.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
a lot of potential negatives from these spikes.
Hmm.
But the good news is there are things we can do, right? The hacks.
Yes, this is the empowering part. Practical strategies. Hack number 1, eat foods in the right order.
Sounds simple.
Too simple. Maybe, but it works. The strategy. Veggies first, then proteins and fats, then starches and sugars last.
Why does that order matter?
Fiber.
Hmm.
The fiber in the veggies does 3 key things. 1, it slows down the enzyme that breaks down starch.
Off amylase.
Right. 2, it slows down how fast your stomach empties. And 3, it creates this viscous mesh in your small intestine.
Gosh, like a net.
Exactly. A physical barrier that slows down how quickly glucose gets absorbed into your blood.
So you get a much flatter curve.
Significantly flatter glucose and insulin curves.
Yeah.
Which means you feel full, longer, fewer cravings. It's powerful.
And forget that myth about fruit rotting if eaten last.
Totally debunked. Stomach acid takes care of that. Remember Bernadette's sandwich? Eating the salad and pickle first, then tuna, then bread. Got rid of her afternoon nap habit completely.
Amazing. Okay, hack 2 builds on this. Add a green starter to all your meals.
Right. This isn't just eating the veggies with the meal first, it's having a separate veggie dish before the main course.
Why the separate starter?
It's a focused way to boost fiber intake. Only 5% of Americans get enough fiber. It's shocking.
Wow, 5%.
And fiber, as we said, is a glucose control superstar. Slows enzymes, slows digestion, creates the mesh.
So the impact is flatter curve, feeling full, kicking craving.
Exactly. Jass's story is great. Adding a big salad before dinner helped her lose 20 pounds, cleared her acne, normalized her periods, and she said she lost her taste for treats, regained her willpower superpower.
Love that. Any tips? Like how much?
Aim for roughly a 1.1 ratio of veggies to carbs if you can. But honestly, any amount is better than nothing. And don't sweat waiting times, just eat them in sequence.
Okay, hack 3. This one might ruffle some feathers. Stop counting calories.
Whoa. Really focus on molecules instead.
Yes, because calories just measure heat. They don't tell you the physiological effect. 100 calories of fructose. Way worse for inflammation, aging, fat storage than 100 calories of glucose or fat or protein.
The body handles them totally differently.
Totally. There was this incredible study, obese teens improved their blood pressure, liver fat, everything in just 9 days
Oh.
by swapping fructose calories for glucose calories. Same total calories, just different molecules.
That challenges everything we're usually told. What does that mean for weight loss then?
It means people focusing on flattening glucose curves can sometimes eat more calories and lose more fat than calorie counters who keep spiking. Remember me, always hungry on low-cal snacks.
Yeah, the reactive hypoglycemia. She fixed it by flattening her curves, felt way better, and ended up eating more. It's about the type of calories, not just the number.
Mind blown. Okay, hack 4. Flatten your breakfast curve. This feels crucial.
It's so crucial because typical Western breakfast, cereal, toast, juice, pastries are just bombs of starch and sugar.
Instant massive spike.
Right out of the gate. Honey Nut Cheerios, for example, has 3 times the sugar of cereals used in studies.
Yikes. And that morning spike does what?
Taxes your pancreas, promotes inflammation, pushes you into fat storage mode, and sets you up for cravings all day long. That idea that sugar gives you energy, myth, it mostly goes straight to storage.
And the blended fruit trap. Smoothies? Juices?
Big trap. Blending destroys fiber, so sugar hits you hard and fast. Juice is even worse, pure sugar, no fiber. Orange juice has about the same sugar as Coke.
Wow, so treat blended, juiced, dried fruit like dessert.
Pretty much, yeah. The solution for breakfast, go savory.
Protein, fiber, fat.
Exactly. Think eggs, Greek yogurt, tofu, meat, nuts, seeds, avocado. Olivia, 18, had acne and anxiety from sweet breakfasts. Switched to a savory omelet. Huge transformation.
So if you want sweet.
Eat it after the savory stuff. And make smoothies smarter, protein powder, healthy fats like flax oil or avocado, spinach, maybe some berries. Use full-fat milk and coffee. Skip the sugary syrups. And remember, eggs are fine. Sugar is the bigger heart health villain.
Got it. Hack 5. Have any type of sugar you like. They're all the same, really. Honey, agave, table sugar.
Fundamentally, yes. Once digested, they're all just glucose and fructose hitting your system. A rose by any other name, right? No good sugar.
But agave is marketed as healthier, lower glycemic index.
Deceptive. It's lower GI because it's mostly fructose, like 80%. And fructose, remember, is worse for your liver, drives fat conversion, insulin resistance.
Okay, wow. And honey, it has antioxidants.
Technically, yes, but tiny amounts. Like half a blueberry has more antioxidants than a teaspoon of honey. The sugar load vastly outweighs any tiny benefit.
So best sweet fix.
Whole fruit with the fiber in moderation, or things like cinnamon, cacao, unsweetened coconut, nut butter for flavor.
What about artificial sweeteners?
It's mixed. Some like allulose, monk fruit, pure stevia, erythritol seem okay, no glucose or insulin impact. Others, aspartame, sucralose, maltitol, might cause issues, maybe increase insulin or cravings.
Tricky.
And sweetness is addictive, remember? The best approach is probably to wean off gradually. Use preferred sweeteners, then slowly reduce the amount.
Makes sense. Okay, hack 6. Pick dessert over a sweet snack. Why is dessert better?
It's about timing, and that postprandial state, the 4 hours after eating when your body's working hard, insulin is up, inflammation is up.
And snacking keeps us in that state constantly.
Pretty much like 20 hours a day for many people now, compared to maybe 8, 12 hours generations ago. Our bodies rarely get a break.
So fewer, bigger meals might be better for metabolic flexibility, training cells to burn fat.
Evidence suggests yes, that Czech study on diabetics. 2 large meals beat 6 small ones for weight loss and health markers, even with the same calories.
So why dessert? How does that fit?
Because eating sugar after a meal with fiber, fat, and protein significantly flattens its glucose spike compared to eating it alone on an empty stomach.
That's like applying the right order hack.
Exactly. Gaudier, with PCOS, normalized her periods and lost weight just by shifting her chocolate habit to after meals instead of snacks.
Simple but powerful. Hack 7. Vinegar before you eat. This sounds old school.
It is. But science backs it up. A tablespoon of vinegar, any kind really, diluted in water a few minutes before a starchier sweet meal.
And it does what?
Flattens both glucose and insulin spikes. Crucially, without raising insulin. Plus curbs cravings, tames hunger, promotes fat burning. And it's cheap.
How does it work? Magic.
Acetic acid. It inhibits that starch-breaking enzyme, alpha amylase. And it helps muscles suck up glucose more efficiently for glycogen storage.
So less glucose floating around.
Less spike. Manaz's mother used this, along with other Macs, to help reverse her type 2 diabetes. It works. You can drink it up to 20 months before, during, or even 20 months after.
Flexible. Okay, hack 8. After you eat, move.
Yes. Muscles are glucose sponges. When they contract, they need energy. They need glucose.
So even just a short walk after eating
makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Just 10 minutes helps flatten the curve, reduce weight gain potential, prevents that post-meal slump.
And this works without needing extra insulin, right?
Right. Active muscles grab glucose directly. Any movement helps walking, squats, cleaning up, whatever. Resistance exercise is particularly good, can cut spikes by up to 30%.
When's the best time to move?
Within about 70 minutes of finishing your meal, catch it before the spike really peaks. Khalid, 45, swapped his post-meal nap for a 10-20-minute walk, felt better, lost weight. Simple change.
Love it. Hack 9, if you have to snack, go savory.
Because sweet snacks don't give real energy, right? Just a dopamine blip and then it crashes the glucose gets stored.
Yeah, that energy myth again. And the mental health link is real too. My donut depersonalization.
Yeah.
It's scary how food impacts mood.
It really is. Diets full of spikes are linked to worse depression, anxiety. Savory snacks, carrots, nuts, cheese, whatever, give stable energy. Avoid the roller coaster.
Like Gustavo the truck driver swapping candy for savory stuff. Kept him alert.
Safer too.
Definitely. Okay, last one. Hack 10. Put some clothes on your carbs.
Love this phrasing. Basically, never eat starches or sugars naked. Always pair them with fat, protein, or fiber.
Why? Slows absorption.
Exactly. Reduces the speed and amount of glucose hitting your blood.
And debunking another myth. Adding fat doesn't increase the insulin spike.
Nope. It can actually decrease the insulin needed for that meal. Fat slows things down.
And it helps with hunger. Naked carbs make you hangry.
They can. They cause ghrelin, the hunger hormone, to spike and crash quickly. Dressing your carbs keeps hunger signals more stable.
Example.
Brownie with yogurt, bagel with salmon, nuts in cookies, cream on crumble. Lucy, the type 1 diabetic, improved her control just by adding nut butter to her banana or having an egg before candy.
Even for healthy carbs like fruit or whole grains?
Yep. Modern versions are often higher sugar, lower fiber than they used to be. Berries are generally best among fruits. Whole grains are better than refined, but still starch dress them up. Lentils are great because they come pre-dressed with fiber and protein. So combining things ensures a slower, gentler glucose release. Better for everyone.
Wow. Okay, so looking back at all this,
Yeah,
what's really striking is just how consistent the science is, isn't it?
it really is. From the personal stories to the clinical data, it all points the same way. Flatten those glucose curves, and you unlock a healthier you. It's about listening to your body's signals.
Understanding them finally and making informed choices. You really do get the keys to your own uh, cockpit, as the book says.
Yeah, you can steer towards better health. And remember, small changes add up. Big time.
And it's not about being super restrictive or dieting in the old sense.
Not at all. It's about empowerment. Eating what you enjoy, just thoughtfully, strategically.
So for everyone listening,
Hmm.
what does this mean? What if applying these hacks, maybe not perfectly, but consistently?
Could actually shift the health, the mood of whole communities. Imagine minimizing those energy slumps, those cravings.
Proactively tackling chronic illness. What would that future look like?
It's a powerful thought. So we really encourage you, start your own journey with this. Experiment.
Be kind to yourself in the process. Share what works for you. Your body is talking.
And now, hopefully, you know a bit more about how to listen.